You can save every day by shopping at Whole Foods Market. Seriously, don't just go for the big sales. They have literally thousands of low-price goods with their house brand, 365 by Whole Foods Market. While at happy prices, limited-time seasonal flavors, and all the quality you expect, like no high fructose corn syrup or over 300 other ingredients banned from all the food they sell. There's so many ways to save at Whole Foods Market. Now you know.
What is Cafe Mocha? Cafe Mocha is experts, celebrities.
What's up? This is Bell Bit DeVoe.
Yours truly, Idris Elba.
This is Fantasia.
This is In Vogue.
This is India Ari.
Hey, what's up? This is Brandy.
Music and features from a woman's perspective. Intriguing conversation, espresso, the Mocha Mix. So much more. All from a woman's perspective.
What flavor are you, baby?
This is Cafe Mocha.
Coming to America debuts this weekend on Amazon Prime. We're talking to the Oscar-winning costume designer who brought Wakanda to life and will now bring Zamunda to life. But first, she's an ER doctor in Brooklyn. She takes us back to when the pandemic hit and her thoughts on the vaccine.
Nothing in the world that I won't do.
It's Cafe Mocha, Angelique, Lonnie, Love, and Yo-Yo. On the line, she is an emergency room physician in Brooklyn, Dr. Arabia Molette. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join Cafe Mocha today. How are you?
I'm actually much better. I'm actually doing much better. Last year, was a harrowing experience, especially for New York City and New York State, as well as the tri-state area. It was very difficult, but, I'm still here. God is good, despite. And the only thing I could say is that we just have to keep our faith and really try to do away with self-entitlement and learn to work well together so we could get through this pandemic.
First of all, I want to thank you, Dr. Arabia Molette, for being an essential worker, for hanging in there, especially with a city like New York. Can we talk about how important it is to have physicians of color treating people?
It is very important. I mean, it's so important to the fact that, a recent article from CNN that was actually published on the website was stating that Black babies that are born to obviously Black mothers but have Black physicians, their mortality rate actually decreases and compared to if they had a white physician. And so that was actually quite astonishing, not for me per se, but just overall that CNN had actually revealed that article. And it made me think of even on the other side as being a patient myself. I was a teen mother, and I know that my experience as being a teen mother going through, giving birth to my own son, I actually experienced racism in medicine from my own obstetrician. At the time, I was 16, I was giving birth, and the things that she said to me, the way she treated me, as a matter of fact, I almost died from childbirth as well as my son, and thankfully my mother was there. And so for me personally, it is very important for the Black brown community to understand they cannot afford to lose Black and brown physicians. Part of it is because of the fact that, for one, we understand as far as what we go through, we understand from the level of culture, our language, certain things that, that we can experience, that we experience, but we could be able to relate to the patient and actually be able to help our patients or help our community on a greater level. And so we are primarily the ones that are advocating for, access to healthcare and to do away with racism and bias. But if you have noticed in the news recently, some of my own colleagues that are teaching at different medical schools have been fired because they spoke out against racism and bias in medicine. Yeah. And so I've been discriminated against as well. I've actually got let go of a job a few years ago because I stood up for myself because I was tired of it. But again, I mean, the whole point is we have to continue to fight. It's tiring, it's exhausting because all I really want to do is just go into work and just provide, the best health care possible. But I would have never imagined that years later, I was trained, I'm a Cuban trained physician, so I was trained in Cuba and then came back to the United States to do the rest of my training and as well as, to practice emergency medicine. But I would have never thought culturally that I would have to face this battle along with the rest of the doctors, Black and brown doctors that are also facing the same situation like myself.
We're talking to Dr. Arabia Molette. She's an emergency room doctor in Brooklyn, New York. We were talking about racism in medicine. And of course, as a doctor, you've experienced it. But we've heard the stories of people coming to the emergency room, Black people coming to the emergency room, thinking they have COVID, being turned away. Oh, you just have this, and then going somewhere and dying. Do you think that story changes if we had more people of color, more doctors of color? Do you think that there would be more sensitivity to?
Well, I think at the time when COVID hit, I think that what it is that because we also have to be very careful how, and as you ladies, you all know, y'all the experts in media, there's always like the clickbait headlines and people jump on it, but not necessarily read the entire story. I say that to say that at the height of the pandemic, back in March of 2020, when the pandemic or when COVID-19 hit New York City, it affected everybody, whether you were Black, white, Latino, Indigenous, Asian, it affected everyone. But the problem was where, depending on where you live, mattered. And the reason why I said that because of the lack of resources. So when the pandemic hit, we had no idea how to address the situation because it hit so rapidly and we weren't getting a response from the federal government. And so when we were tracking Italy and China, how the way they would take care of their patients. And because we were facing minimum resources, we had to decide, okay, who was the sickest? What would be the protocol in terms of taking care of so many people with little resources, including staff? Many hospitals around the United States are understaffed. So I do not think at the beginning, when it first happened, it had to do with racism. It had a lot to do, actually, it did indirectly when you're dealing with institutional disparities. So depending on where the neighborhood you live, you may have more resources. You may have better resources. Where I work, we were facing some pretty tough decisions. And we were facing just a lack of overall resources. And it was really hard because we tried to take care of everyone, but we just couldn't because it was beyond the capacity in which we were able to take care of people. And it was just very difficult for many hospitals throughout New York, especially if you're in a poor Black and brown area. Just to put it out there, Native Americans have actually, as of now, has the highest rates of death in the United States, more so than Black and Latinos combined. And so when I was talking with friends of mine over there and where they work at in Native American reservations, they were going through 10 times worse. And they was just feeling like they didn't have the resources to take care of everyone and had to turn people away. And so, but that has a lot to do with racism because of the fact that why aren't these hospitals in lower resource neighborhoods or marginalized communities are not funded properly? Why are we still continuously having these same conversations? And that was the biggest issue that we were facing. Unfortunately, in the news media, the media in itself didn't help us in a lot of ways. There was so much misinformation that was being spread that then you have, the previous president saying a lot of crazy things. And it just felt like there was such a war against public health. A lot of us on the front line felt like no one gave a damn. No one cared about us as well.
Talking about misinformation, many Blacks and Latinos aren't interested in taking this COVID vaccine, including some in the medical field. What are you telling patients who are scared to get the vaccine?
And here's the thing, because that was the part, and I would say that there's a slight difference in response in terms of Black and brown people taking the vaccine in New York. I think part of it is because we had it up close and personal, and we saw the devastation, how devastating it was, and the impact. And so people here in New York and also the New York tri-state area, they're more flexible with it. They do understand there's a lot of education that's going out there, even though I think the vaccine rollout is just dun-dun-dun. I don't even know how to describe. I'm just trying to be, not trying to be mean, but I would say that you have to know your history. And I've heard so much misinformation about. I've seen someone had wrote something about like how the vaccine is the European poison, and I'm like, if you know your history, you will understand that an enslaved African in Boston laid the foundation for the development of vaccines. He created the vaccine for smallpox. And so Black people have been major contributors to global medicine worldwide. And so instead of people keep constantly harping on the Tuskegee experience, which has nothing to do with the vaccine, one was the people or the men was denied treatment. This time you're not denied treatment. You're not denied treatment. You are given the right to have the vaccine. The problem is that we have to stop listening to people who are not experts. Listen to the people who are experts like myself. Talk to your doctor. There are Black and brown physicians out there that are on the front line that are advocating for us to get the vaccine because we have been dying at a disproportionate rate. Even healthcare workers, Black and brown healthcare workers represent that high number as well from people dying. And so until we have this conversation and understand, yes, we are still traumatized by what happened to us for over decades with unethical medical experimentations. But we also have to understand that if we don't do the right thing, we are going to continuously die from it. And this is why, and I do think that this is partly the reason why that you're seeing in the news about, white people coming up to Black and brown communities getting a vaccine, because the vaccine rollout is so low, people are not showing up for it. And also, too, the vaccine rollout is a little messy because there's too many websites. And how is it that, in these communities, especially the elderly, they don't have access to the internet. And so we have to do better. We have to come to a common ground. The community has to come together and say, you know what? We got to fight for us. We got to do what we have to do so we can survive and understand the basic science. Here in the United States, people lack basic understanding of science. And that is the reason why people can just run off and promote misinformation and people fall for it, because education is at an all-time low.
The last question, Dr. Arabia, please explain what a vaccine does, because a lot of people don't understand what it does.
Basically, what a vaccine does is to help you to build antibodies to something that's foreign in you. And we do it all the time, whether it's you got the MMR, which is the mumps, measles, rubella vaccine, or, if you got what is it called, the Tdap. A lot of these vaccines that I'm naming, a lot of these vaccines that I'm mentioning is what we got during our childhood. And some of them we don't have to take anymore because we already gotten it through our childhood. And so it's to help to provide you protection. It's to help boost your immunity to those same foreign bodies, which could be a virus, so forth, that is coming into your body. So you want your body to be able to protect itself and recognize like, something is inside of me. No. I recognize that from before. Let me build that antibody up so I can fight against it. And so that is the point of the vaccine, is for protection. And hopefully with this COVID-19, we're not too sure as far as like how the immunity will last, but we do know that it will help reduce the severity of the symptoms of COVID-19.
Dr. Arabia Molette, emergency room doctor in Brooklyn, New York. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome, ladies, and happy belated Valentine's Day. Stay safe, stay Black, stay beautiful.
You stay too healthy, Doc. We love you. Thank you. You are
Thank you so much. Yes.
You're welcome.
It's Cafe Mocha. The next edition of Salute Her is just in time for Women's History Month, March 21st. We're celebrating with a lot of amazing women, including
Cynthia Erivo, Grammy, Emmy, and Tony Award-winning actress, singer, and producer, creating the Legacy Award. Holly Robinson Peake, co-founder of Holly Rod Foundation, Toyota Champion Award.
We love Holly. She ain't been on the show in a minute.
I know, it's about time. We also got Latasha Brown Byrne, co-founder of Black Voters Matters, Champion for Change Award.
Dr. Corbett, who helped us get that vaccine. She's one of the doctors from UNC.
I was so happy to get her. Pinky Cole, the CEO and founder of Slutty Vegan, the Powerhouse Award. She deserves that. Okay.
Deneen Milner, New York Times bestselling author and founder of MyBrownBaby.com, Champion for Children Award.
And Melanie Campbell, president, CEO of the National Coalition for the Black Civic Participation. Woo, that's a long word.
Wait, though, Eric Benet is performing.
Yeah,
I know.
Yes, my girl, I Will Survive. Gloria Gaynor. I am so excited. And it's hosted by who, ladies?
Lonnie Love.
Angelique is going to be our voice. Yo-Yo is going to give her presentations.
I'm going to be behind the scenes saying, oh, as long as I know how to love, I know how to love.
And this wonderful event is sponsored by Toyota and AARP. It's our third Salute Her, that's virtual award, March 21st. We want everybody to tune in. It will be streaming. We just have a really good time. It's so inspirational.
Yes, it is.
Motivational. And for it to be Women's History Month, I mean, Angie, I'm excited.
I am too. And we got a lot of amazing women.
I always walk away feeling motivated.
Definitely. And you know what? I always say we have to honor our own women. And this is exactly what Cafe Mocha is doing. You guys, look out, March 21st, Salute Her Awards.
Hey, this is Billionaire from We Sound Crazy with your Black Music Month Spotlight. Chris Brown is a singer, songwriter, dancer, and actor. In 2004, Brown signed with Jive Records and released his debut studio album the following year. Later certified triple platinum, Brown holds the records for the most Billboard Hot 100 entries of any male singer in history, and the most RIAA multi-platinum singles of any male singer in history.
You like it what you see? Everything designer, that's on me.
A lot of people don't see no's that everybody gets. Like, they just see the success and a lot of hard work, a lot of late nights, sleepless nights, stressful nights, crying in the studio, not thinking I'm good enough, like as a younger artist. But I didn't let that doubt overshadow the dream. I feel like even to this day, like my heart and my passion is in. So I feel like that's what, I guess, keeps me consistent or keeps people interested or engaged in my music.
Celebrating Black Music Month.
Hey, it's Angelique here. Walt Disney World Resort is bringing you the culture with music, art, and food. Imagine savoring Princess and the Frog's decadent bread pudding and berry beignets at Disney's Port Orleans Resort. Take in Disney's Animal Kingdom Park's Circle of Life Festival, celebrating the Lion King and more. Walt Disney World Resort is a place where you can come and celebrate with your family, and you can do it soulfully. Bring yourself to Walt Disney World Resort and celebrate the culture.
You can save every day by shopping at Whole Foods Market. Seriously, don't just go for the big sales. They have literally thousands of low-price goods with their house brand, 365 by Whole Foods Market. While at happy prices, limited-time seasonal flavors, and all the quality you expect, like no high-fructose corn syrup or over 300 other ingredients banned from all the food they sell. There's so many ways to save at Whole Foods Market. Now you know.
This is Cafe Mocha. I'm Lonnie Love. Joining me now, she's the woman who helped bring Wakanda to life, and she's doing the same thing for Zamunda. I'm talking about the one and only Oscar-winning costume designer, Ruth E. Carter, and coming to America. Welcome to the show, Ruth. I'm so excited.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now,
I'm
Ruth,
excited to be here.
I don't know if you remember this, but way back in the day, I was an up-and-coming comic, and I got hired by Robbie Reed, the casting director, to do your birthday party. And I actually did stand up. We were outside at a house, and it was your birthday party. And that was the first time I met you. It was a long time ago.
Wow. Man, we should do that again.
I know. We've come full circle.
COVID, man, has just like separated all of us.
It really has. You are the first costume designer that is going to be receiving a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Oh, congratulations. How does it feel?
It feels like a great honor. And I have walked across those stars many a times, beating the streets, carrying my heavy garment bags and going in and out of stores and saying, ooh, that's Dorothy Dandridge. And ooh, that's Fred Astaire. Ooh, that's Harry Belafonte. You know, ooh, that's Arsenio Hall. And now somebody's going to say, ooh, that's Ruth Carter.
Yes.
That's a great honor.
Well, let's talk about all the things that you've done. You know, we know about Black Panther. We know about, you know, The Butler. But now coming to America to the long-awaited sequel. Are you going to dust off any of the old costumes, Ruth?
I did. I dusted off some of them old the dresses. I found them at a rental house. Those big shoulder dresses, those Ankara fabrics, the big turbans, and we put them in the film. We also went to Paramount's archives, and we got out the original King's crown, and James Earl Jones is wearing the original crown from the first movie. We were able to examine a lot of the jewelry that they kept. I mean, they did such beautiful pieces, but it's all archived now. We couldn't actually use it. We had to recreate our own.
Well, I'm so excited. I saw the movie yesterday, and the job that you did with just the colors, it's so beautiful. I mean, congratulations. Can you explain to the listeners the role that costumes play in telling the story and defining the characters?
Yes, I have my own subtext going on. I know all about you when I dress you. I have made up a whole story about your life because, like, a costume designer is a storyteller. So I have to know the reason why you're wearing the clothes that you're wearing. And even if it's a fictitious place, I have to really come up with a subtext and understand you as a part of the bigger story in order to lace you in. So costume designer is a storyteller through apparel.
And for this movie, Coming to America 2, or Coming to America, what was your favorite costume, if you have one?
Oh, my favorite costume has got to be Randy Watson.
Loved it. Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't wait for everyone to see Coming to America. How did you put the Ruth Carter touch to the new movie Coming to America?
Oh, I love a comedy. I feel like I'm funny myself, and I think the Ruth Carter touch might have been a little humor and a lot of color, a lot of heart, and an infusion of culture, some real cultures up in that film too.
Well, the listeners of Cafe Mocha are so proud of you, and we cannot wait to see the new movie Coming to America, which will be streaming on Amazon March the 5th. Thank you, Ruth Carter, and good luck.
Thank you. Oh, thanks so much. I'm glad you had the time.
Bye-bye.
Here's your dose of espresso. Strong, hot news now.
This is The Espresso. Berkeley, California just told cops you can't be stopping people for little stuff anymore.
The city council there voted to end all traffic stops for low-level offenses such as not wearing a seatbelt or an expired license. Cops can also no longer conduct warrantless searches of people on parole or probation.
Award season kicked off, and Judas and the Black Messiah and The United States versus Billie Holiday both won Best Actor awards at the Golden Globes. If you saw Andra Day as Billie Holiday, you know she earned it.
And to the amazing, transformative, dynamic Billie Holiday, who just transformed me with this role and with her presence and with her spirit.
Eddie Murphy and Arsenio explained why comedian Louis Anderson was in the first Coming to America.
I love Louis, but I think we were forced to put Louis in it.
What?
Yeah, Paramount was like because the whole cast is black, and this was back in the the 80s. So it was like, we have to have a white person. We can't it has to be a white person in the movie. What?
Coming to America, streaming now on Amazon Prime. That's The Espresso. Cafe Mocha is a production of Miles Ahead Broadcasting in partnership with Compass Media. Executive producer Sheila Eldridge. For comments, booking, or more information, visit cafemocharadio.com.
Hey, this is Bacon from We Sound Crazy, and this is your Black Music Month Spotlight. Brandy Norwood is an American entertainer born in Macomb, Mississippi in 1979 and raised in Carson, California. In 1994, she released her self-titled multi-platinum debut album, Brandy, that featured the singles I Wanna Be Down, Baby, and Best Friend. Her second album, Never Say Never, has sold over 16 million copies worldwide and features the Billboard 13-week #1 song, The Boy Is Mine, with fellow R&B singer Monica.
The boy is mine, the boy is mine, the boy is mine, the boy is mine, the boy is mine.
In her 30-year career, she's won a Grammy, released 8 studio albums selling over 40 million records worldwide, and has over 70 movie and television roles to her credit, among other accolades.
In the beginning, no one knows you, and you have reasons to be successful, which is just to be popular or for people to just know your name. But now for me, it's about sharing and it's about really giving back. When you're young, it's all about you. It's not really about me. It's really about the people that have been with me for such a long time.
Hey, it's Angelique here. Walt Disney World Resort is bringing you the culture with music, art, and food. Imagine savoring Princess and the Frog's decadent bread pudding and berry beignets at Disney's Port Orleans Resort. Take in Disney's Animal Kingdom Park's Circle of Life Festival, celebrating the Lion King and more. Walt Disney World Resort is a place where you can come and celebrate with your family, and you can do it soulfully. Bring yourself to Walt Disney World Resort and celebrate the culture.